everyone, this is your favorite deck collector, VJose32, back again. That's it for Magic. I just did a week of Magic for those of you who are just tuning in or just subscribing. This month I'm doing a week of everything. I did a week of deck reviews, I just did a week of Magic. This week I'm doing a week of top 10s, and next week a week of card classes. What are top 10s? Top 10s is a series that I've been doing for a little while, where I take a look at the top 10 decks from different companies or different maybe themes or colors. Today I've got another one for you to start off the week. Ta-da! I know what you're thinking. That's a lot more than 10. What, have you lost your marbles or something? You will see, however, they are kind of separated it into piles. I've decided there was a request for me to do the top 10 independent company decks. I decided, why not do top 10 independent companies instead? But then I looked at it and I realized I had more than 10, so I decided top 15 independent companies. Yeah. There are some companies that did not make the cut. Mostly companies who have not produced more than 1 or 2 decks and or have not been producing. These include Aper Cards, Stay Classy Cards, Miscellaneous Goods Company, or whatever they're called, the Virtuoso, or Verts, Geek Playing Card Company, which did the Amazing Adventurers, Coterie 1902, Skullcore. I was actually going to include Skullcore, but then I couldn't find the card, so I said screw it. Deco Playing Card Company, which did the Sultana, which I'll review in a couple of weeks probably. The Seasons Playing Cards, because they only did the Seasons decks. Enigma, which did the Moonsign deck. Cypher Studios, which did the Medusa. Man-Made Games, which hasn't produced any decks yet, they're all in Kickstarter limbo. XTU Productions, same thing, they haven't really produced any decks. They had 2 failures, 1 possible failure coming, who knows. And then there was a Thero Playing Card Company, which has 2 decks on Kickstarter. One of them has been produced, the other one is coming, but I haven't gotten either, so I can't do it. Albino Dragon, which did the Clelulu Bicycle decks, or however you pronounce that. They also got the Name of the Wind, the Synthesis, and the White Rabbit, but I haven't gotten any of those decks except for the first one, so I can't do it, unfortunately. King's Wild Project, which is the Federal 52 decks. Again, they've only done Federal 52 decks, and I haven't gotten any, so I can't include it. Homegrown Games, which did the Bicycle 8-bits. Again, it's like only 1 series of decks, so I can't really do it. And Hidden Mirrors, which only did the Bicycle Eclipse, and apparently have disappeared. I checked it out, and the website is no more. And Half Moon Playing Cards, which is behind the Bicycle Venexiana. Of course, they had a couple other decks, but those were through RSVP Magic. And they haven't produced the Venexiana yet, so I decided not to do them at this time. That's that, I think. There's a couple I almost didn't do because they haven't really been doing anything or they no longer exist, but I figured, screw it, we'll do it. Let's get on with it. Number 15 on the list is, and I will move these back so I have some room, hopefully. In case you're wondering, number 15 on the list is Alien Inc. They produced the Galaxy cards and the Flowers deck. We're number 15 because a lot of people don't really trust them or like them. The Flowers deck is kind of girly, I guess. It's kind of flowery. And I mean, neither one of their decks is really standard in any way. They don't have standard pips. They don't have standard court cards. Completely not standard. Like I said, not really the most trustworthy company apparently, at least to some people. And this deck failed like a dozen times. This one I think maybe failed once before, at least. The new Galaxy deck that's coming soon failed at least once, I believe. It's not really good when people don't trust you. Your decks fail. You can't even make USB-C decks. So 15 it is. The bottom of the bottom. Number 14 might come as a surprise, but it is Circle City cards. Sorry to say, but it is. Most of the cards are pretty nice. The Hornet's not bad. I really like the Americana. Very, very nice. The Brimstone's not bad. This one, probably the worst of the bunch. Because it's, with that color, it's hard to see the back design. It's hard to see the pips. And these ones are pretty nice as well. The Heraldry. Pretty nice decks. However, their stock has just gone boom. First of all, we got Adam Clarkson, who designed this deck and then designed the Bicycle Army Men deck. And he joined forces with Russell Kurtzeval, who designed these other decks, to form Circle City cards. And Adam did have some issues with this deck. The second deck, the Army Men deck, sat forever and forever and forever. All sorts of communication issues. He spent money on other stuff from the project. And in the end, he decided that since he wasn't going to make money, screw it. And then he decides, if you want your money back, send me an envelope with a stamp, and you might get your money back. Then he finally relented and started sending money back to people with PayPal. That didn't work for me. I told him, just send me my money back, take out the postage and the envelope out of what you owe me. He said he would send me back the money, but I haven't seen anything. Next problem. Russell Kurtzeval seems to take forever to ship out decks. I'm still waiting on his sequel to the Brimstone deck, the Bicycle Quicksilver, which is basically a blue version of this. And I've been waiting, it seems like months for it. I've tried contacting him on Kickstarter, on his website, on Facebook, on United Cardists. Not one single response telling me he sent out my cards or not. Maybe they got lost in the mail. I don't know. I haven't seen him. He's not communicating. And he seems to take forever and ever to ship out cards. The same with the other decks. So, at least to me, their stock has just gone downhill. And I'm not a huge fan of them. And I'd be surprised if they launch any more decks on Kickstarter, because I'm not going to be successful in my opinion. But anyways, that's that. Number, what are we at? 13? 13 is DeVoe. Handlords.com. This wasn't originally on my list. Forgot about it. Then I was going through trying to find decks, and I found these, and it's like, crap, maybe I should include these guys. Alright. They would have been higher on the list, except half of their decks are the same thing in a different color, basically, which is kind of lame and lazy, in my opinion. And then this one is just really out there. It's probably the best thing they did, because it's the only different thing they did. These ones, it's a comic book. It looks like a deck of cards. Whoopee. Not a huge fan. And this one is kind of bizarre. It has like no faces. It's meant for fanning only. It's just got numbers on them. Basically no pips. And no images on the court cards. It's numbers and letters. So, I mean, if they had been a little bit more creative and hadn't produced the same deck 6 times, basically, and, you know, had been a little more creative with some of the other decks, they might have been higher on the list. But that is where they are right now. And I haven't even heard of anything from them lately. Sorry if I'm a little bit harsh, but I'm trying to do a top 10 list here. Number 12 is Bentcastle. Some of you may not be familiar with it. They don't do USB-C decks. They actually tried on a Kickstarter. It didn't work out too good. Decks are a little bit cartoony, but not bad looking. You got Pirate deck, a Pippoglyph, which is a Scottish or Irish theme. They got a new version on Kickstarter, which should be coming soon. Extraordinary Voyages, those are pretty nice. And Deck of the Living Dead. Pretty cool, but again, not for everyone. They're not USB-C, they're not really meant for performing or handling, mostly for card games, and they might not even be that good for that when you look at the faces. But they did throw in X cards on most of these, which are could be good for some games. But that's that. It's kind of sucks when you can't make a USB-C deck. If they had, they might have been higher on the list. Number 11. Card Experiment. They've only produced the Asuras and the Babel, however you pronounce it. This one is a little bit of a mixed bag for me. I just don't understand it too much. Looks like a bunch of wood. The Asura I like, especially the blue one. Metallic inks, very nice. One main issue is they are in Asia. Making a payment is impossible for me because they only accept PayPal. I can't do PayPal. And then it takes forever to ship because it's from Asia. But outside of that, it's pretty nice. The next one is kind of similar. It's Alloy's Studio. Alloy's Studio. They got the Truth Gardens in black and white. Blue Tunes, which are pretty nice. Look at that, nice details. And Floral. Voila. Very nice decks. I like them. However, communication is from them is not very good. They take forever to ship out stuff. The website isn't the best. And again, they only accept PayPal, which doesn't work for me. So it might be higher on your list than mine. But communication is not great, and shipping takes forever, especially considering they're shipping from, they got PokerStud52 shipping them out from eBay. So he's in the States, so it shouldn't take that long. So I don't understand. Do they ship the decks to Asia and then ship them back to Dave, and then he ships them out, or why does it take so long? I don't know. And then, like I said, the communication is not great. Otherwise, they'd be higher on the list, especially if they had a better payment processing that I could use. They also haven't had too many decks lately. This is the last one. And that's that. They also, I think, promote too much rare decks. It's rare, there's only 500, blah blah. And it's a little bit annoying. Next on the list, Lance Miller. Lance Miller's had a couple of Kickstarters for these ones. Produced this one originally, and that was it. He hasn't done much lately. They're all pretty nice decks. This one could have been better if it wasn't just all silver metallic inks, because it makes it a little bit hard to see and perform with. And these ones, pretty nice, except that the faces are a little bit odd, a little bit awkward I should say, but pretty nice nonetheless. And they're all numbered and everything. That's pretty cool. I like them. But he hasn't been doing much, and he's been slowly designing decks, I guess. I don't know. And he does sometimes take forever to design stuff. I mean, it's good. He's good at designing stuff, Metallica's details and whatnot. But it sometimes takes a little bit too long. But other than that, it's good. There's just others that are a little bit better, I would say. Next on the list, Be Deceived, which had the mystery, the confidence, and the style. Style, mystery, confidence. There we go. That was their slogan. Those are their free decks. Unfortunately, due to financial difficulties, I guess it was, they're no longer in business. They're nice decks, but they no longer exist. And yeah, so it could have been higher on the list, but they don't produce anymore, unfortunately. It's too bad, because they're pretty nice decks, and I was looking forward to more. That, and I mean, this one I had a little bit mixed feelings about. It looked a little bit like the Sentinels deck, but not bad. This one, just a black back design. No faces on the court cards, so could be a little bit too simplistic for some people. And this one has a retro feel to it. I like it. Probably my favorite. But they're all nice nonetheless. Next on the list, Elite playing cards. Some pretty nice decks. They would probably be higher on the list if they would stop producing decks, because, I mean, I've already got 4. There's 3 more on Kickstarter. They're going nuts. Slow down. You're going to wear out your customers. They're going to be spending too much money on you, and they're going to say, screw you. We can't afford to pay you any more money. You got the rituals. These are pretty nice. Another issue is that they have 3 decks that are all basically the same, just different colors. Nothing wrong with that, but some people don't like color variations. On top of that, this one, there was only 500 apparently, the rest went to some guy in Asia. These ones, they didn't even sell on their website at first. They were on, I mean, they do now, or they did, but originally they were sold by some guy on eBay. And this one's not bad. And then the new ones, Platinum, Evolution, and Majestic, which I should be getting soon, look pretty nice. Only issue I have is when they sell cards on their website, again, the PayPal issue. And that is a big one for me. Fortunately, most of their decks lately have been on Kickstarter, which I can do and will do anytime. It would probably be higher on the list if they stopped using the same decks and changing the color. And I mean, even this one is different, yet it's kind of similar, if you know what I mean. Anyways, that's that. And like I said, just too many decks, too many similar decks, too many color changes. Or it would have been higher on the list. And a bad payment processing. Next on the list, the Midnight Card Company. I was a little bit reluctant to include this one because they do have a website, but they don't actually sell anything on it. But he does do some beautiful artwork, beautiful decks. Apparently they don't handle too good in the long term. Oh, I got a sealed one here for some reason. But they are pretty nice. And this one is another one he designed for United Cardists. Again, pretty nice. Although the faces were fairly standard, just a color change. But outside of that, pretty nice artwork. Would probably be better if he actually went out on his own and sold his stuff, even if he had to do it through Kickstarter instead of relying on House of Playing Cards to do it. Just saying. Where are we here? Number 5. Vanda. Pretty nice decks. I really like the Polaris. He's got another one that should be coming in the near future, the Mustache. There was the Bacon deck that didn't quite pan out on Kickstarter, but they might be relaunching it, I would assume. They're pretty nice decks. Like I said, I really like the Polaris. The Vandas are pretty nice, a little bit different. Not too many complaints. Maybe his communication isn't the best sometimes. But outside of that, it's pretty good. I like it. Not really any complaints. Number 4 is Uzi. They've done the Blue Bloods, the Bohemias. Really nice decks. Communication is good. I think it's a husband and wife team. Good artwork. They do have the Royal Optics already, so they're going to be shipping those out real soon. Those ones look fantastic. And they got a new version of the Blue Bloods, in case you missed out on the first one. That also looks amazing. It's coming tomorrow to Kickstarter. Make sure you check that out if you really want Blue Bloods. Only issue I can think of is they have some kind of weird obsession with blue. Blue Bloods. Blue decks. Blue. Royal Optics got more blue. Blue. Blue chord cards. Everything's like blue. How much more can you do with chord cards and faces and back designs that's just blue? You know, you gotta expand on that, I think. That's the only issue, I think, that I could come up with. Next on the list, number 3. TPX Designs. It's got the Allures in black and white. The Onyx, which is related to the Allures, but it's kind of separate. The Genesis, which has got a biblical theme. And he's got the King of Kings on Kickstarter, which you can help fund right now. There's a few days left, and it still needs more money. And there was a limited black deck and whatnot. Pretty nice. Overall, nice guy. Good communication. If you back one of his previous projects and going back to his new project, he gives you a code so that you can get free stuff. And just overall, nice guy. He communicates. I got no complaints. Really, I mean, some of his work uses this. I mean, the only main complaint is that fairly standard quote cards on some of it, but it's still custom colors and stuff like that. Outside of that, pretty nice, I think. We got two left. Two. And speaking of two, number two, 4 p.m. Designs. They got the Necronomicon, which has got lots of nice details and coloring. Although his faces I'm not a humongous fan of. I mean, they're nice. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, maybe it's just a theme. And then the grids, and the grid 2.0, this one was nice, this one's even nicer. Sadly, you need a black light to really get the full effect of this deck, and not everyone has one. I don't have one, so that kind of hurts it a little bit. And they've only had basically, well, 2 decks, 3 decks. I know there was one other one that they're planning on doing, a Cthulhu themed one, but they haven't done that yet. And I'm looking forward to that one when they do it. Again, like I said, they've only got a couple of decks, but they're pretty nice decks. I got no complaints. One main thing I would say is they should get a more professional website, not one of the free webs.com websites. But anyways, that's that. Number 1 on the list, who's missing? Who haven't I done yet? Oh yes. Incarded. Why not? Awesome looking decks. Awesome guy. Professional looking website. And just really good quality decks. Nice stuff. He's got the new Deco playing cards in 2 colors, bronze and silver. Coming soon. You can probably pre-order them on his website if you did not get them on Kickstarter. And what can I say? I can't think of anything negative to say about him or his company. He just produces good stuff. And he's a nice guy. And that's what I've got. This top 10, top 15 is a little bit different than usual. I didn't want to do just a top 10 because there's so many to choose from. But you can help me decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. I decided I've got a whole bunch of different colors of decks that I can do. You can help me choose what color deck I'm going to do a top 10. You want to see a top 10 yellow decks, or orange decks, pink decks, brown decks, gold, silver, purple, or maybe even white. Let me know, post down below, and I'll work on it for tomorrow, hopefully. I will not do red or blue or green or black, and I'm hesitant to do white just because there's so many to choose from, so many to find and look at. That'd be difficult. The other ones would be a little bit easier for me to do, and I would appreciate it. So, again, yellow, orange, pink, brown, yes, brown, gold, silver, purple. Let me know, and I'll do it tomorrow, and then I'll do more during the rest of the week. And then at the end of the week, I'll probably do one similar to this on bigger companies, perhaps. And I still have to do a Blue Crown House of Playing Cards top 10 at some point in time, and others as well. That's what I've got though for now. Let me know what color you want to see. Not red or blue or green or black or white. There's too many of those. And I'll see you next time.